Buenos dias and welcome back to another video, my friends. Hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying healthy. Today on the channel, I want to talk about how to shoot macro photography, some tips on shooting macro photography with your Canon EOS R and the native RF lens lineup. So currently in Canon's RF lineup of lenses, there is only one macro lens, and that is the 35mm 1.8. It's a great portrait lens, it's a great street photography lens, and just a good all-around lens, even for video. But for macro, it does do the job and it gets you started into macro at about $450, but it's not a true one-to-one macro. That being said, in a few tips down the line, I'll show you how to get this lens closer to one-to-one macro magnification. So for tip number one, you have a few choices here to get started. You can use your EF to RF mount adapter to attach any macro lens that you might have or that you're looking at. As long as it fits the EF mount for Canon, then you're good to go and you can get started. Another way to go about it is to use that same EF to RF mount adapter and attach an EF extension tube to it, and then attach any EF Canon glass to it, which will turn it into somewhat of a macro lens. Alternatively, you can do what I'm doing and attach an RF extension tube mount to the Canon EOS R and then attach any RF lens to it, and you're off to the races. I'm gonna be utilizing my 50mm 1.2 RF lens, and that lens has a focusing distance of 40 centimeters, I believe, or about 15 inches. And remember, that's from the sensor to the subject, not from the end of the lens. So that's important to keep in mind. By attaching an extension tube, you'll be decreasing the distance by which you can get to the actual subject and also increasing the magnification. I will be using 27mm of extension on the current extension tube that I have. It'll be listed down in the description below if you want to take a further look. I also made a video, I'll have it up here in the corner or down in the description, on a recent video where I previewed this extension tube. So to recap, you do have choices. You can use adapters, extension tubes, and macro lenses to get started on your Canon EOS R. Another quick tip to have a successful macro shoot, especially outside on your Canon EOS R, and you want to keep this low profile, meaning your camera, maybe an extension tube, and your lens, you're going to have lots of light. And if you go outside and it's dusk or dawn, that might not get it for you. So you might want to try midday sun. This is a perfect opportunity to go out and do midday sun photography. A lot of people say that this isn't the most flattering light of the day, especially for portraits, but this is perfect for macro photography, where you can use a higher shutter speed. So if things are moving around, especially micro jitters or micro shakes, having a 1/500th shutter speed or even up to 1/2000th or whatever works for you in that specific time, that you'll have a lot of light with that midday sun shining down on your subject. So just make sure that you have a lot of light coming into that sensor, especially if you're shooting outdoors and you don't have an external flash or you just don't want to carry one with you. Make sure you have lots of light. Tip number three, we're shooting outside, we're shooting handheld, meaning no tripod, we've got lots of light. That allows us to get our shutter speed really fast and up there. 1/200th, 1/500th, 1/1000th. And that's going to allow us to freeze our subject with that light that's already there. Because as you stop up on the shutter, you're going to have less and less light coming to your sensor. But that's why we have lots of light in the midday sun. That's perfect. So now you're going to be able to utilize that higher shutter and make sure that it's nice and fast, and you'll be able to get that subject nice and sharp. Tip number four for having a successful shoot on your Canon EOS R would be to move your camera in and out to collect focus. Remember, you're going to have a very thin depth of field or focusing area on your subject when you're shooting macro photography. That means if you want to get a large part of the subject in focus, you're going to have to shoot multiple shots, segments of the area, and then focus stack those and blend those in post. But if you just want a single shot, get the best composition and move your camera in and out based on your settings. And I would use my focus peaking on my Canon EOS R, and I would be shooting in manual to get that focus peaking and the manual crosshairs going so you can get a nice sharp image for the piece that's going to be in focus. That is a great tip that will allow you to have fun and then be satisfied with your nice sharp macro shot, especially for that one area that's going to be in focus. And the last tip I have for you for shooting macro photography on your Canon EOS R and the RF lenses that you own is just to get out there and shoot from different angles. Go higher, go lower, don't just shoot straight on and from the top, get behind your subject, shoot at different angles so you have unique shots because you are a unique person and you deserve those unique shots. That's it, different angles. I want to thank everybody who participated in the giveaway in my last video. If you haven't, it's not too late. You can click on the link up here, or I have the link down in the description below. You can join me. The video was on auto exposure bracketing, so you can go watch that video and leave me a comment. Otherwise, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, leave me a like. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and ring that bell to notify you of new videos when they are released. All right, you guys, I love you. Peace.